Welcome, wrestling fans, to my WWE show review on Tim Reynolds Show, as I'm reviewing the Monday Night Raw from December 2nd, 2024 in Everett, Washington. And this Raw was kicked off with CM Punk, the best in the world, coming off of his victory at Survivor Series War Games, would come out to address the crowd in the WWE Universe to say he knows what the future holds for him. And now, with a few favors in his back pocket, he now points at a sign that isn't there, as we all know what this means, as CM Punk is already on the road to WrestleMania and now plans on using those favors to get himself in the main event. But he would be interrupted by Seth freaking Rollins, who would come out to stare down CM Punk in the middle of the ring and says he's been thinking a lot, that he should have knocked CM Punk's ass out when he came back at last year's Survivor Series. And he would also say that a lot of things have been getting in his way of him getting his hands on Punk, but he took pity on CM Punk, especially after his brutal Hell in a Cell match with Drew McIntyre, but he will no longer let those petty things or petty feelings get in the way of him knocking CM Punk out. But then we would see Punk clap back saying, "I don't think you heard me. I put my personal stuff aside, and I don't think about you at all, but you think about me. Listen, I got business to take care of, and I know you ain't it, kid." And of course, Seth Rollins after this would say, "Well, how about I just knock your ass out right here, right now?" And as these two go to brawl, we would see Jey Uso and Sami Zayn come out to break up these two from fighting. And unfortunately, afterwards, we would see Jey Uso and Sami Zayn catch some strays from Seth Rollins, who was not happy with Sami and Jey, not only for teaming up with Roman Reigns, but also teaming up with CM Punk at War Games. But we would see Sami Zayn come right back saying, "You're not going to talk to Jey that way." And really, we would see both Seth and Sami go back and forth, attacking each other about the past. And we would see Sami say, "You're the one who created that monster in the first place, Seth Rollins, when you hit him with the steel chair." And of course, Rollins would admit to that being the case, but also would call Sami Zayn out for doing the exact same thing when he put a chair to the back of Roman Reigns. And after everything has happened and the dust has settled and he teamed up with Roman, did Roman ever apologize to him, Sami Zayn, or Jey for what he did? No, of course not. And that's when Seth Rollins would also say that, "Sami Zayn, what you're doing is just plain stupid. I love your heart, man, but you're just not thinking straight, dude. What are you thinking?" And then we would see Sami Zayn come right back and say, "Well, you know what I am thinking? I'm thinking maybe you need some frustration taken out of tonight. So how about me and you go one-on-one tonight?" As we would see both Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn later on this Monday Night Raw. What a way to kick off the show. And then after this, guys, after the tense moment, commercial free to see that kick off Monday Night Raw, we would see backstage the Judgment Day with Women's World Champion Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez coming off of their loss at War Games. We would see Finn Balor talk to Liv Morgan and the crew there at Judgment Day and talk about what happened on Saturday, as Liv asked Finn, "What's going on? I thought we were done with Damian," after Finn attacked Damian Priest after the match, after he cost him his World Heavyweight Championship shot with Gunther at War Games. And then we would see Finn Balor come back and say, "Oh, well, we were, but because Dirty Dom couldn't get the job done against Damian Priest, I made sure that instead of Damian Priest holding up the World Heavyweight Championship with his arm, he now has his arm in a sling." And he would also go on to say, "Yeah, maybe if you would have listened to me, Liv, then maybe you would have won at War Games." Because we all know when we listen to Finn, we win, as we're now starting to see cracks break here in this faction, as maybe this faction here, the Judgment Day, are starting to split apart and break apart, as we would then see Liv Morgan tell Dirty Dominic Mysterio to follow Finn Balor, as Finn went to go walk off to find Gunther to try to take this sort of attack on Damian Priest as a way for him to get a title shot for the World Heavyweight Championship. Then next up here on Monday Night Raw, we'd have our first match of the night, and this will be a women's tag team match where we would see Damage Control, Io Sky, and Kairi Sane versus Women World Champion Liv Morgan Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, and we would see Liv and Raquel get the victory in this one, but afterwards go to attack Io Sky, who is the number one contender for the Women's World Championship, and we would see Rhea Ripley come out to the aid of her War Games teammate Io Sky and help fight off Liv and Raquel. But unfortunately, Raquel would injure the eye socket of Rhea Ripley, throwing her head into the side of the commentaries table, and I just hope that Rhea is okay. As we would see later on, she would tell Io Sky that she will be coming after whoever has the Women's World Championship when she is healthy and she's ready to, as we also found out that she will have a one-on-one matchup against Raquel Rodriguez next week on Monday Night Raw after this confrontation. Then next up on Monday Night Raw, we would see backstage as Finn Balor went to go find and confront the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther, as he thinks that Gunther should give him a title shot after helping him get the victory against Damian Priest. But Gunther would say that Finn robbed him of the validation that he needed in order to beat Damian Priest to get the confidence back into the World Heavyweight Champion, as the ring general points at Finn, telling him he doesn't deserve anything. And we would see Dirty Dominic Mysterio in the background sort of helping prove Finn Balor's point, and Gunther would take offense to this, saying, "And what are you so happy about? Oh, wait a minute, I know what it is. Dirty Dominic Mysterio is the one to actually get a pinfall victory over Damian Priest in the last few months, huh, Finn?" And Finn Balor did not like this one bit, as we actually seen that Gunther said when he was going to go talk to general manager Adam Pearce about maybe a match between him and Dominic Mysterio, and that's exactly what we would get later on Monday Night Raw. And then next up after this, guys, we would see our next match of the night, as we would have a women's triple threat match where we see Kiana Chance versus Shayna Baszler versus Dakota Kai of Damage Control, and the winner would be Dakota Kai, as this was one of the championship tournament matches for the new Women's Intercontinental Championship, and now Dakota Kai with this victory advances to the semifinals of that Intercontinental Championship tournament for this women's division. Wow, what an incredible match, as Dakota Kai really impressed in this one after Shayna Baszler totally dominated most of the matchup, with Kiana Chance having some big high-risk maneuvers from the top rope, but Dakota Kai gets the victory with a pinfall over Chance. Then next up here on Monday Night Raw, we would see a video tribute to the 10-year anniversary of New Day. And guys, what happens next? It's gonna make you shed a tear. As we would see Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods be welcomed out from general manager Adam Pearce. And we would see both Xavier and Kofi thank everybody there, but also say that they have something to tell them. And we would see Woods say, "Just remember, it's not your fault." And as Kofi would go to speak, we would see Big E return to Monday Night Raw, as he's been out with a neck injury that he's still dealing with and is not medically cleared to come back into the ring. As he would come out and say the words and the way that Kofi and Woods have been treating each other breaks his heart. And because of that, he's going to come back to Monday Night Raw full time to be both of their managers to help get them back on track and keep the New Day together. But that's when Xavier Woods would say, "Wait, now? You want to come back now?" And then we would see the unthinkable as Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston turn on Big E, telling him that he should have been back by now, that his neck should have healed like a bunch of the other Hall of Fame wrestlers in the WWE that have dealt with neck injuries, calling him selfish, saying that he doesn't love them, that he's not a part of the crew. It's not about the motto of the New Day like it's always been, them against the world. Now it's just been about E. We would see Kofi call him selfish. We would see Woods then tell Big E to get the hell out of the ring because he's never gonna be medically cleared. This was a heel turn that we all thought we saw coming, especially after the confrontation between Kofi and Woods over the last few weeks. But for Kofi and Woods to turn on Big E, and then after Big E walks away, we would see Woods and Kofi handshake it out, as if they're going to stick together now as a new heel turn group, or a tag team, if you will. So shocking, so sad to see. It makes me cry just a little bit, guys, because the New Day's been a faction I've full of positivity for 10 years, and now we've seen it change drastically in this moment immediately on Monday Night Raw as Big E couldn't keep them together. Then next up, guys, here after this, we would also see on Monday Night Raw our next video promo, actually, as we would see Karrion Kross very upset with the Wyatt Six after they attacked his wife Scarlett last week, which, if you look back a few weeks ago, we would see the Wyatt Six leader, Uncle Howdy Bo Dallas, warned Karrion Kross that Scarlett blood would be on his hands, and because of what happened, Karrion Kross now wants his hands on the Wyatt Six, and it has been made official, as we will see the Wyatt Six versus The Miz, Karrion Kross, and AOP, the Final Testament, next week on Monday Night Raw. Then next up after this, we would see our next match of the night, as we would have Dirty Dominic Mysterio going one-on-one with the Ring General, Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion. And we would also see after this match when Gunther would get the win after Dirty Dominic Mysterio really tried to give Gunther a run for his money in this match, trying to pull out all the stops with the low blow, and then even a couple of 619s and a frog splash from the top rope, but that would not be enough as Gunther gets the victory. The Ring General once again proves why he's the best, but then we would see Finn Balor come out and attack the Ring General as the World Heavyweight Champion laid beat down in the middle of the ring after multiple coup de grace finishing moves from the top rope from Finn Balor, as Finn looks at Dominic and says, "That's how you do it, kid." Then next up on Monday Night Raw, we would see backstage Pete Dunne being interviewed about R-Truth, who he would have a match with later on tonight, as Truth has been pissing him off, calling him Butch for the last few weeks. But then General Manager Adam Pearce would run right past in the interview with security, as it looks like main event Jey Uso was attacked backstage by who? We have no idea. But then we would cut and come back, and after this we would have our next match of the night as Pete Dunne would go one-on-one with R-Truth, and R-Truth is up to his old tricks again, getting the crowd to start calling him Butch throughout the match. And because of that, we would see Pete Dunne get distracted, and R-Truth would take advantage for a roll-up victory in this match. What an awesome win for R-Truth. Then next up here, guys, we see backstage an interview being done with the Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker, as he now would say after his match at War Games, he's looking on to the future, but he would be interrupted by Ludwig Kaiser, who was in that triple threat match and actually took out Sheamus with the shillelagh, his own shillelagh, where he hit him probably about 12 times in that War Games matchup. And because of that, Sheamus would actually be out with an injury from this Monday Night Raw due to broken ribs and is out for an extended period of time. Now, because of that, Kaiser would say that he was this close to taking that championship away from Braun Breaker, and that he better watch out for him because Kaiser plans on bringing that championship back to glory where it belongs, around the waist of Ludwig Kaiser. And we would see Braun Breaker really clap back and say, "Hey, I'm actually kind of proud of you. You stepped out of the shadow of Gunther and you actually put up a pretty good match at Survivor Series. But guess what? Gunther's stock ain't really been that good that lately, so maybe you ought to step out of his shadow even more and try to handle business on your own. But you better watch out, because if you're in my way, I promise I'm gonna take you out." And man, what a confrontation from the Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker and Ludwig Kaiser. Then next up on Monday Night Raw, we would see General Manager Adam Pearce be confronted by Sami Zayn, who was mad about Jey Uso being attacked backstage, wanting to know who was it, who did it. And we would see Adam Pearce say, "Who do you think did it?" And then right afterwards, Sami say, "I know who did it. I'm about to go out there and kick his ass right now." And oh man, as we would see later on, it would be Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins in the main event. But first, we would see Finn Balor go confront General Manager Adam Pearce himself, as he thinks he deserves a title shot, especially after what just happened back there when we seen him take out the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. And we would also see General Manager Adam Pearce clap right back at Finn Balor saying, "You want a title shot for the World Heavyweight Championship when you haven't even really defended your World Tag Team titles but twice? Well, you know what? You want the match? You got the match, because the ring general Gunther wants the match as well. So at Saturday night's main event, we will see Finn Balor go one-on-one with Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. But we'd also see Adam Pearce give Finn Balor a warning, saying he better be ready to defend his other championship next week, and we'll have to wait to see who he'll be facing next week on Monday Night Raw, with the World Tag Team titles most likely on the line. Then next up, guys, after this, we'd have our main event match of the evening, where we would see Sami Zayn go one-on-one with Seth freaking Rollins, and these two would have an incredible back and forth matchup until Sami Zayn took it upon himself to go grab a steel chair and bring it inside the ring, as it looks like Sami Zayn wasn't worried about winning the match anymore. He wanted to get back at Seth Rollins because he believes that Seth Rollins was the one who did it and attacked Jey Uso backstage. But Seth would say, "No, what are you talking about, man? That's not me. I don't do that. I didn't attack Jey. Who do you think did it? Did you ask your boy CM Punk, huh? Think about it, dude. You got to use your head. What are you doing?" And then we would see Sami Zayn throw the chair down in frustration as he's thinking hard about what is going on and what happened, who attacked Jey Uso, and then Seth Rollins would take advantage of the distraction and roll up Sami Zayn for the victory in this main event. And as Seth Rollins walked off, to the despair of Sami Zayn, who couldn't believe that he lost that match, we would then see, out of nowhere, Drew McIntyre returns to Monday Night Raw to take out Sami Zayn and sends a huge message to the WWE Universe and the locker room backstage on Monday Night Raw, as Drew McIntyre is back. And I don't know if he has his eyes set on Sami Zayn. I don't know if he was the one to attack main event Jey Uso backstage, but we'll have to wait and find out on next Monday Night Raw what exactly this all means. And this has been your Monday Night Raw WWE show review on Tim Reynolds Show. Thank you guys for checking out the channel. Make sure you like and subscribe and check out Tim Reynolds Show for more WWE content. And make sure you guys hit me up in the comments of what you guys thought of this Monday Night Raw and Survivor Series War Games. Make sure you check out my Survivor Series War Games review on Tim Reynolds Show. And thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys hit that like button and let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the show. And thank you guys for supporting this sports entertainment, football loving Tim Reynolds Show. Thank you guys so much. Peace out.